The latest developments at the Twin Ring Motegi circuit reinforce Aprilia's optimism, as Friday practice for the 2025 Japanese MotoGP put their star rider, Marco Bezzecchi, in pole position. With a fastest time of 1 minute 43.193 seconds, Bezzecchi once again proved that his speed at San Marino was no fluke. Bezzecchi's success in outperforming his rivals underscores the increasingly mature capabilities of the Aprilia RSGP, which is ready for the race. Behind him, young talent Pedro Acosta of Red Bull Team closely followed, while Bezzecchi's main rival, Marc Marquez of Ducati Lenovo, rounded out the top three. Marquez's presence at the front ensures that the intense duel anticipated by Aprilia CEO Massimo Rivola will once again be presented this race weekend, promising an even more exciting spectacle. The practice results also presented significant surprises, particularly from the home team, Honda. Two riders from the Honda HRC Castrol factory team managed to break into the top 10, demonstrating improved performance at home. Joan Mir put in an impressive performance, finishing fourth fastest with a time of 1 minute 43.361 seconds, while his teammate, Luca Marini, secured sixth, just 0.310 seconds behind Bezzecchi. This achievement is a boost for Honda at their home race. Despite finishing eighth in practice, Yamaha star rider, Fabio Quartararo, isn't setting high expectations for this year's Japanese MotoGP, Yamaha's home race. Quartararo realistically admits that the M1 is still far behind its rivals. He explained that the Motegi circuit, with its slow corners that demand strong acceleration, makes the Yamaha bike particularly difficult. He admitted, "We can be fast on a single lap, but we struggle with race pace," implying that the main problem lies in a lack of acceleration. Nevertheless, El Diablo emphasized his total dedication to the team, undeterred by the presence of Yamaha's top brass who are confirmed to be at Motegi. "I don't care who comes, I'll focus on myself and my team. Even if the president of Japan comes, I'll still give 100%, asserted the rider, currently ninth in the standings. He emphasized that everyone on the team knows what to do to become faster, and he hopes for a miracle in the form of innovation on the still nascent V4 motorcycle project in the coming months. The extraordinary performance delivered by Aprilia rider Marco Bezzecchi in his tight competition with Marc Marquez of Ducati Lenovo in the 2025 San Marino MotoGP series apparently left a very strong impression and optimism for Aprilia Racing CEO Massimo Rivola. The fierce battle in Misano, which saw Bez as an equal rival to Marquez who was in peak form, has sparked new enthusiasm and increased ambition at Aprilia headquarters in Noali. Rivola now views Bezzecchi as the only rider closest and most ready to consistently challenge and destroy Marquez's dominance. This optimism is a strong foundation that Aprilia carries forward to the next racing series, the 2025 Japanese MotoGP, which is scheduled to take place at Twin Ring Motegi this weekend, September 26 to 28, 2025. Rivola's deep belief in Bezzecchi's potential is not mere wishful thinking, but rather based on concrete and convincing performance data at Misano. In particular, Rivola highlighted Bezzecchi's speed on the RSGP, which far surpassed that of any other non-Ducati rider, and specifically compared him to fellow Ducati rider Alex Marquez. "I looked at the lap times. Alex Marquez was 7.2 seconds behind Marco," Rivola said, a comparison that shows that Bezzecchi and Marc Marquez are clearly in different classes in terms of speed and consistency at Misano. This speed advantage is the clearest indication yet that Aprilia's RSGP has reached a competitive level on par with the Desmocetisai, making Bezzecchi the most credible rider to pose a major threat to the championship-leading Ant from Cervera. The most crucial moment illustrating Aprilia's winning potential came during the San Marino Grand Prix, where Bezzecchi, who will move to the Aprilia factory team for the 2025 season, demonstrated impressive leadership skills. He led the race for the first 11 laps, effectively holding off the aggressive Marc Marquez in the early stages. Leading a rider riding a winning streak is no easy feat, and this performance highlighted the remarkable progress Bezzecchi has made in adapting to his new bike and Aprilia's ability to prepare a competitive bike for the front row. However, racing drama is often determined by small details, and in San Marino, Bezzecchi's fate changed due to a minor, costly mistake. Right on lap 12 at turn 8, Bezzecchi blundered by running slightly off the racing line. Even the slightest mistake in MotoGP is always punished, and Marc Marquez, with his unmatched championship instinct, immediately capitalized on the gap to take the lead. He then maintained this slim lead until he crossed the finish line. Nevertheless, the fact that Bezzecchi maintained the pressure until the end of the race, with such a narrow gap, still suggests that this battle was one of the most intense of the 2025 season. Despite having to settle for second place, Rivola refused to dwell on the result, instead taking the positives from the epic battle. Unfortunately, Bezzecchi made a small mistake when the wind died down a bit, but that's okay, he said. Rivola sees the widening incident as a valuable learning experience for Bezzecchi, which will serve as extra motivation to give even more in the rest of the season. With full confidence that a Grand Prix victory for Bezzecchi and Aprilia is just around the corner. His focus now is on maximizing his potential and eliminating small mistakes in the future. Rivola explicitly admitted that without that small mistake on lap 12, Bezzecchi could have won, proving that the RSGP and its rider are now at the level needed to defeat Marquez. He praised the Misano battle as an incredible race, especially for the fans, offering overtaking action and suspense right up until the final lap. Furthermore, Rivola expressed high praise for Marco Bezzecchi for successfully maintaining the pressure and fighting fiercely against Marquez, emphasizing that he's a rider who can't let his guard down against Marc. Armed with data from Misano and consistent improvements to the RSGP, which he claims is increasingly fierce and on par with the Ducati GP25, Massimo Rivola is now shifting his enthusiasm to the 2025 Japanese MotoGP at the Twin Ring Motegi. The Motegi circuit, which demands extreme acceleration and braking, is the ideal stage to further prove Aprilia's claim as a title contender. Rivola is eagerly anticipating a repeat of the Bezzecchi versus Marquez duel, believing the Motegi battle will be an exciting show that confirms Aprilia's position among the strongest factory teams. Rivola offered a frank yet optimistic assessment of Marco Bezzecchi, admitting that he had performed better than expected. However, he also saw room for further development, both in terms of his attitude towards the team, his attitude, and his workload, and within the Aprilia team itself. The Aprilia CEO's motivation was blazing, concluding with a bold challenge. "I can't wait to beat Marc in the next race." A statement that clearly marks the 2025 Japanese MotoGP as a true proving ground.